Oh, welcome back. This is a very exciting. Today's topic will be, here it is. Let me share my screen and hold a second. So today's topic is hidden housing gold mine, small rental, big profits. Here are the highlights. Okay, let's cut to the chase. All you need is $40,000 of cash out of pocket to finance this particular property to trigger all of this trifecta, if you will. Long-term rental, okay? Cookie cutter long-term rental, 20% down payment, total out of pocket, including closing costs, 40,000. If you want to add, if you want to convert in the future, to as a pivot, if you want to pivot into mid-term rental or short-term rental, Airbnb, all you gotta do is add around $6,000 to $8,000 for furnishing. With that in mind, here are the approximate returns on your investment at the end of the first year. Long-term rental, around 30%. That's right, 30% return on investment at the end of the first year on strictly long-term rental. Cookie cutter, nice and easy, almost passive investing. Mid-term rental, 50% total return on your investment at the end of the first year. And short-term rental, Airbnb, around 100% or more total return on your investment, which is your investment is your down payment, right? All right, so how to accelerate your retirement? Now, I'm not saying you must do all three, okay? Most of you, you buy an out of stick, yeah, just stick with long-term rental, let the property management do all the work for you, so you invest pretty much passively. That's right, passively, almost total passively. But a lot of you have no clue what's going on, that this market is not in the mainstream media. Virtually no one is talking about it in the mainstream media, but it's good, right? You don't want too much competition at this moment. This is really a game changer, and it does not it does not require a substantial amount of out of pocket, and you will find out momentarily. This area is Lawton, Oklahoma. I call it trifecta of your real estate investment strategy. Trifecta. Why? Again, you can do all three of this asset class, as I mentioned. Okay. So it is next to U.S. Army Fort Sill. Well, welcome back. I'm a mentor real estate coach, doing it for many decades. By the way, Fort Sill have a connection with me because it's a U.S. Army. This this fort has been around for years and years and years. It's going to be around for years and years to come. So here I am around 40 years ago when I was in active duty, U.S. Army. I retired after 20 years in 2002. More than 20 years ago, I retired from active duty, 20 years of service. I'm not going to go over my background and everything else. You can pause the screenshot, but I've been there, done that. I have purchased a lot of properties. I've been to many locations in the world and throughout the U.S. In my professional and military life and vacationing and all that stuff. Okay. All right. So let's cut to the chase. By the way, I'm a diehard long distance runner, so I like to keep fit. But hey, you all, the few, the proud, the realistic Marines. I just thought I'd throw that in there. All right. So Lawton, Oklahoma, that's right. And you can buy long distance wherever you're located, brand new constructions remotely. You can, if you want to, at some point in time, or even quickly convert into a mid-term rental or short-term rental. And is this small town USA is an emerging market, and we have all the teams on the ground, right? All is a turnkey. Holistically, we have property management, all the team on the ground to help you whatever asset class, whatever space you want to get into down the road. All right, Lawton, Oklahoma, which is around 50% of the tenants are active duty soldiers. Trust me, active duty soldiers are the best long-term tenants. I'm not going to get into that. We got so much to cover today. But the other 50%, just regular folks, right? Regular folks who loves living in this area and who are not ready to buy yet. They are your potential tenant base. But if you're lucky, not lucky, I mean, happens a lot. Uh, you could make the argument that a typical U.S. Army duty uh, active duty soldier, they have if they marry, they have a 3-year tour, at least a 3-year tour in any military installation, and U.S. Army Fort Sill are no exception. So hey, imagine if for the for the next 10 years, if you own a rental property here, your long-term tenant, you could have a total of 3 total high quality military tenants that's going to occupy your house in a span of 10 years. I mean, this is absolutely easy investing long-term rental. It's just a no-brainer, and returns are great. We have a turnkey approach here. We have a local builder that's strictly built for our investors. These are off-market opportunities. My partner, Mr. Richard Advani, is in charge of this turnkey system that we have here in Lawton, and not just Lawton, all over Oklahoma submarkets. We have presence, we have investment homes available. Look at this. This is absolutely mind-boggling. How can you buy? Look, this pricing has increased. Okay, this price was like 6 months ago. Today, you have the opportunity to do a trifecta, buy long-term rental, mid-term rental, and short-term rental with only $156,000 out of pocket on a brand new cottage here at Lawton, Oklahoma. $156,000. You can make the argument you can put 20% down payment, which is 30 grand, plus 5% closing cost, 35 grand, maybe slightly more. Okay, for long-term rental, that is. So total out of pocket, typically below $40,000. If you want to keep it as a long-term rental, easy to rent, as I said, this submarket is a boom town, is growing by leaps and bounds, but you can cash flow very easily as you see the pro forma, good cap rate, good everything, long-term rent, the whole 9 yards. And we even have a duplex for only, this is shocking, $320,000 duplex you can purchase here in Lawton as well. Hey, you can, if you want to, you can keep it both sides, both unit as long-term rental. You could keep one unit long-term rental, one mid-term rental. You can keep one of the unit mid-term rental, or one of the unit short-term rental Airbnb. So you can mix and match. You see the amazing trifecta, amazing creativity you can do with just one little house. But if you want to buy a duplex and multiply your profits by 2, right? So you can do a single family home. Nowhere, look, nowhere. Okay, okay. It's obvious that nowhere else in the country you can buy a rental property for such a low price, and yet a booming market. It's a boom town, right? With such a high profit possibility. I mean, normally when you buy, long-term rental, especially mid-term rental, all the so-called gurus out there, oh, buy a $500,000 Airbnb, or $1 million Airbnb, put $300,000 down payment of $500,000 down payment, and you may be profitable with the Airbnb space at this day and age. Look, I'm asking you to put down a mere 40 grand. 40 grand, right? If you can't come up with 40 grand, if you want to become a long-term investor, I mean, stay out of the game. Just do something else with your money. All right. Anyway, so I hate to be so blunt, but long-term rent, hey, most of my investors, like 90%, they keep it as a long-term rental, just plug and play. Just invest passively. They're not going to trade time for dollar. Yes, if you want to convert to mid-term rental and short-term rental, yeah, it's not passive, right? I mean, you can spend some hours on a weekly basis, especially at the beginning upfront. So you could put the system process and procedures in place for the MTR and STR. Of course, it takes time to put the systems together, but we have the resources, right? And resources is everywhere in the country. right? In the past few years, there's so much platform, so much software, so much system and technology and real estate guru that can help you with the mid-term rental and short-term rental space. So if you want to do that, you can even have our property manager manage it for you. Of course, the management fee a little bit higher for short-term rental and mid-term rental, but you can also self-manage even remotely, wherever you live in the country or in anywhere in overseas. You could take advantage of this trifecta: long-term rental, mid-term rental, and short-term rental. Is that there is just we have proof of concept. We have done this already. Okay, otherwise we wouldn't promote what we're promoting. All right, so here it is, just to validate the amazing amount of profit and return you can achieve by using this trifecta. This is one of the mid-term rental guru that Jesse Vasquez, during this particular video, he mentioned, oh, this is the area for mid-term rental. This is the best area. The Nashville, Chicago, Denver, all these big markets. You don't have to go to a big markets, right? You can go to a small market like Lawton, Oklahoma, and thrive, investing. So according to a bigger pockets, right? About a year ago, they on their article, they even say Lawton, Oklahoma is the best market for new short-term rentals. That's what the data said. They have done a lot of research, bigger pockets, to produce this article, and some of the highlights are, Lawton is very, very affordable. Obviously, okay, it's very, very close to DFW Metroplex, which is growing like crazy. DFW, North Texas, many of you have been hearing about our market in North Texas, Boomtown, which is absolutely amazing. And so Lawton is a feeder market for DFW, which is not very far away because Lawton is located in almost southern border of Oklahoma, bordering Texas. And this region is growing by leaps and bounds. In addition, the other areas of Oklahoma is growing, Oklahoma City and other submarket that we're in currently through our great partner, turnkey provider, Richard Advani. He have all the submarkets in Oklahoma cover, including Lawton, Oklahoma. So he's an amazing person and friend. So again, Lawton compared to other high cost markets, Lawton represent a more accessible entry point for new short-term rental investors with a good price to rent ratio. Duh, we already proven that over the past few years with the properties that we've been promoting to our investors, off-market investors, right? Okay, so Lawton's relatively low competition and growing occupancy rates highlight it as a potential emerging market for all types of real estate investing, long-term investing, especially short-term rental, right? Emerging short-term rental market, right? And I know, the mainstream media, talk about, all those typical short-term rental markets like the Smokies, Joshua Tree, and different areas of the country. They are the popular short-term rental markets, but there's a lot of short-term rental markets that's going on in many small markets that the mainstream media does not really know about. So again, so yeah, bigger pockets are really all in the short-term rental space in Lawton, Oklahoma, based on all this data that they created. I'm not going to go over this information. You can learn more about it. But yeah, I mean, it's a low cost for us, high profits, high reward. You can pivot to all three investment strategies. Okay, and of course, here's a sample. Our founder of the turnkey partner in Oklahoma. This is his Airbnb marketing strategy, short-term rental in Lawton, Oklahoma. This cottage, this $156,000 two-bedroom, two-bath cottage, 850 square foot. Look at this. Look at this nice quality construction by our local builder. and look at a little bit of furnishing. The furnishing should not cost more than 10 grand, right? This is a fully furnished Airbnb. Mr. Richard, I've already been getting like 5-star reviews on this short-term rental over the past year or so. And so, this is a Airbnb marketing. So yeah, very, very, very interesting, right? I mean, you have no clue this is possible. So that's right here, Richard Avani. He's my partner in for the past 10 years. Very good friend. He's a great guy. So this is his Airbnb, and several of our investors are, are he's helping with the Airbnb hosting scenarios, and midterm rentals also. Yeah, so Fort Sill is the main employer, and a lot of short-term rentals occur during the they have basic training, okay? U.S. Army basic training. So whenever a basic training graduating class is about to occur, then of course all the parents and relatives of those soldiers graduated from basic training Army in Fort Sill, they come over, stay 3, 4, 5 days on a short-term rental, and our product can accommodate those STR tenants, okay, those guests, if you will, right? So the basic foundation of the property we present, especially for long-term rental, we provide some extra building incentive. So real quick, we provide cash flow, easy to rent, strong rent, 1% seller credit, 2 years of professional property management. This is only for long-term rental, all right? Brand new construction, of course, low maintenance, strong rental market. Lawton, Oklahoma, continue to be a very reliable rental demand, and long-term stability and even appreciation potential is expected. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, you can pivot back and forth however you see fit, based on your timeline, how much time you have to convert into a midterm or short-term rental. This is strictly up to you, right? Most of my investors, they just buy long-term rental, just set it and forget it, and just hand it over to our great professional managers. Look at this nice quality construction of this cottage, $156,000. It's truly amazing. I mean, your total all in is a mere around 40 grand, not including the finishing costs if you want to do a MTR or STR. But look at this high quality finishing, interior, exterior, great landscaping, and good neighborhood, A class, A minus class, okay, B plus class neighborhood, very spacious, very a lot of space and everything else. It's just such a turnkey model that we have. We have a lot of success. A lot of our houses are already sold out because we have more investors than there are available of inventory. So our our builder is frantically are trying to build more homes for us throughout the rest of this year. So you can make a lot reservation in some of the sub-market we have. Is you could reserve, you can put down $2,500 to reserve a lot and to be built in the next 3 to 5 months, hopefully. So it's just a demand from our investors for this kind of product is obviously is off the chart. So whenever we have few listings on a weekly basis here and there, they get gobbled up. They get sold very, very quickly by investors from all over the country, not only our own network investors. As you can see some of the pictures of the duplex here in Lawton, very beautiful interior. So really, at the end of the day, I mean, you can buy this kind of properties regardless where you live, without constant direct involvement. You can create a steady stream of income that flows into your life while you sleep. So this liberating approach allows you to reclaim your time and energy to focus on what it matters to you the most. Again, so if you do a very, very little time out of your day, right? If you put the system, process, and procedures in place, whether it's LTR, MTR, STR, or this, acronym, 3-word acronym I've been providing you It's really not much time, 5 hours per month, whatever, managing in all these three asset classes, either or, right? At the beginning, of course, you have to spend more time, learn more about. You may need to hire a real estate guru on the MTR or STR space, at least for the short term. Learn the system, learn how to self-manage, those kind of things. Again, there's a lot of platform, a lot of systems and technology in place for you to thrive in the MTR and STR space, but a long-term rental LTR is just a no-brainer. It's so easy, right? So that concludes. Here's my information. Please contact me. We can do a complimentary consultation, and then after that, hopefully we could work together, and so we could achieve your goals. And just imagine a lot of our investors are buying more than one, right? Some are doing 1031 tax deferred exchange from California or from New York State, whatever, from a high cost market. They are, yeah, exchanging one, low cash flow rental, very high appreciation from this high cost market into 5 or 10 of the homes that we are promoting. But right now, hate to say this, we cannot do, at least short term, at least the next couple of months, we cannot do a 1031 exchange because we do not have that many inventory. We do not have supply of inventory available for you to do a 1031 exchange. Yeah, if you want to buy one or two, maybe we can accommodate you at this very moment. Right now, we're in August. But in the next few months, as our builder ramp up on the lot and they start construction, then we have more inventory. But it's just this market is truly amazing. What a way to grow your portfolio in so many different ways. The profit potential, the returns, and the turnkey approach that we use, and all the systems in place. Great professional management, great founder Richard Advani. He's the brain behind this Oklahoma submarket and the strategies we that we put in place. So you work as a team, you work within our network, and we're gonna hold your hands long term. Hey, what more can you ask, right? Working with a great team, we have everything on the ground, all already done, vetted, researched, ready to go. Just turn keys, just turn your key and start earning your money, short term, medium term, and long term, right? The trifecta, Lawton, Oklahoma. Yes, it is the gold mine of risk investing. Is undiscovered right now, but it will be very, very soon. So get in early while there's very little competition. I tell you what, when and if the mortgage rate comes down below 6%, when it comes down to 5.99%, that's a psychological trigger. That's a signal for all those people that are sitting on the sidelines right now for the past 3 years, for whatever lame excuse they have. They gonna get off the sideline, when the interest rate, get to that level, and then, all hell is gonna break loose, and you know, what that means, and then the floodgates going to open. You can have more competition, bidding war, multiple offers, and driving up the housing prices even more than already has been. Our market is already steadily increasing in appreciation, right? We're increasing our prices due to, population growth, job growth, migration growth, and investor demand in this submarket that we represent and the space that we're promoting. All right, that's all I have to say. Thank you so much. What a great time to be an investor. Have a nice day. See you next time. Bye bye.